So I want to share with you the 3 strategies that we've been using to actually increase our sales on Instagram. And we've used this over the last year to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in our own business and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in our clients' business. So I'm confident that you can get the same results in your business. And at the end of the day, it's always good to have an extra tool in your back pocket when it comes to lead generation. The first way is going to be talking about link in bio. This is really basic. It's been on Instagram for years, but there's a couple of little things that you can do to actually increase the amount of sales and leads you're getting from your link in bio. The number one being, and starting off with, is understanding your funnel. If you understand how your funnel is actually working on Instagram and what is going on, is going to make it so much easier for you to be successful. So the number one thing, the first thing that we always start off with is views. All right. This is your top of funnel. When anyone is watching your content on Instagram, whether it is a reel, whether it is a feed post, the exception would be stories because it's a little bit different, but you can even lump stories into this. You are generating views for your brand. And this is how you reach new people, and it is also how you nurture your existing following. The next level of your funnel here is your profile views. So when someone actually goes from viewing your content, they're like, I want to work with this person. They do one of two things. They typically click on the profile link to go to their profile, hence giving you a profile view, or B, they actually click on your profile, but like view your story from the reel or the post. Now, both of those are really good things because they're consuming more of your content. And I'm going to talk about profile views a little bit more, but it's really important to understand that this is like a crucial next step. And it's why we're going to talk about later on why your profile needs to be dialed in. Now, the one thing you can track here that makes a huge difference is the number or the percentage of people who go from viewing your content to viewing your profile. And I typically call this like a view to profile conversion rate. And you typically just get this by taking your profile views, dividing it by your views. And it's just going to give you a percentage. Really good if you're doing like phenomenal with your content. Usually 10% of people who view your content will click through your profile. Typically though, you're going to see around 3%. It's really common. If your content's underperforming or really bad, you're only going to have about 1% of people who view your content click through. And what happens is when you're getting like a number below 3% is you might be doing content that's not related to your niche, not related to your business. You might be doing React videos that are outside of your industry. There's a lot of things that can attribute to that. Or you're doing like a lot of viral trends. But if you're focusing in on your core demographic and what you're looking at, pretty standard is 3%. And like I said, if you're on fire, and this gets harder, but like if you're getting above like 3 or 5%, like you should be really, really happy with that. It's just a really good conversion rate. The next part of this is your link clicks. And this, is people clicking your link in bio. All right. Super simple. Same thing as earlier. You can, calculate like your conversion rate here if your link clicks divided by your profile views. The reason why these numbers are really important is you can reverse engineer, like if you want to hit a revenue goal, like how many views are you going to need to generate over a certain period of time in order to hit that goal based off of what these conversion rates are. And obviously these change and go up and down, but you can find an average over time of where you typically convert with your content. And there's other things, like I said, that you can do that can either decrease your conversion rate or increase your average conversion rate over time as well. Lastly is people get to your landing page, and this is where you get those money signs down at the bottom where they convert. And you also really want to track the percentage of traffic or the page hits you get by sales, because that's going to give you your conversion rate on your landing page, and that's extremely important. Again, going back to knowing how much money you're going to make, doing projections going out, figuring out how much traffic you need to generate to hit your goals. These are all really important things. So number one, this starts with our content strategy. And I've kind of been hitting on this the whole time. But if we're looking at our entire funnel, it's like, if you want to get like a higher percentage of people to move down your funnel, you have to have better content. There's a couple of ways to, determine like what is better, right? You can look at engagement, right? This used to be like a really popular thing to do. When the algorithms first started rolling out, they really valued engagement. People can look at views and be like, oh, views are better content. I typically like to look at what the conversion rate is between views and profile views. Because again, when you're looking at your content, if your content is actually converting people, that is going to be the result. That is going to be the net change that actually makes a difference that you want to see in your business. You could get you could get 1 billion views. You could get 1 million views or 1 billion. But like if that equates to 0 sales, do you really care about it for your business? No, of course not. You'd rather get like 1 million views and get 1 sale, or 100,000 views and get, I don't know, 10 sales, right? You'd rather, when you're doing this for your business, for your job, for your work, you're not chasing necessarily the vanity metrics. You're changing the metrics that are actually going to make a difference in your business and add to your bottom line. So the number one thing here, if you haven't watched any of my videos on content or my wife's videos, Kinda Laney, I really recommend that you go watch those. She has an amazing 4H scripting model. We also just published a converts framework video, really amazing content for actually how to create content that converts, right? But the number one thing I can tell you right here is you want to, really think about your end viewer and create content around them, primarily using agitational, problem-aware, and solution-aware content. And this is identifying the symptoms or issues that they face and feel and creating content to illustrate what problems they're facing and what the solutions are. The next one, bio optimization. I talked about this earlier, but when it comes to, sending people to your link in bio, if you actually want people to click on it, when they hit your landing page from viewing your content, it has to be dialed in. It has to be aligned with that piece of content that they just saw and communicate it clearly and concisely, or they're going to bounce. They're not going to click to that link in bio, right? So, and what I typically recommend here as well, again, profile photo, ideally face of you. If you can be smiling, that's better. If it can be a clear photo, you want to look professional. The other thing that you probably really want to do here is follow this framework for what you actually put in your bio. I recommend having 3 lines plus 1 link. Don't do multiple links. That kills your conversion. But number 1, make sure that you specify in your first line who you help. It's the first thing they're going to read, right? Be sure to be clear about that. Get really concise. Figure out what your target audience, your avatar, whatever you want to call it, your ideal customer, what they identify with. That wants to, and then you want to create a sense around that in your first line. That is short, it is concise, it is clear. The next one that you want to do is you want to have an authority frame in your bio. So like I've helped X amount of clients, or I've done this for X amount of years, or something that leads you to look like the authority in the eyes of your audience. And the last one is a CTA or a call to action. And usually you want to encourage them to go to that link in your bio. If you're doing a freebie opt-in to like a lead magnet, you want to encourage them, like, get my 0 to 7 figures framework, for example, down below, and use like the down arrow emoji so you don't have to spell it out. It's visual. Picture's worth 1,000 words. You can't write 1,000 words in your bio, right? So use emojis when you can, when they make sense. Don't do it just to use them, because again, that's kind of like tacky, cheesy, doesn't work. Words convert, and you just want to use that when you're spelling stuff out that you don't have to. If you're going to like a booked call or something like that to like the service you provide, you want to make sure like you specify that and the CTA reflects that. So for example, like we've used in our business, like start scaling today, right? Or stop waiting to scale your business, right? Or generate more leads. Again, something that's related, that when they go there, they book the call, they kind of understand that this is the process to get what they ultimately want, which was what was in that bio. Number 3 is the landing page. So if they click on the landing page, and again, if you were saying like, get my 0 to 7 figures framework, and it's a book call form, they're probably not going to book a call. They're expecting like an email opt-in or a freebie of some sort, or maybe even a video or a webinar. Same like vice versa. If you're doing a call and it's like an opt-in to some random freebie, probably not going to do it. If they go to a link trees are really bad. Don't do a link tree, because again, multiple choices kills your conversion. Make it simple, make it clear. And I highly recommend, I can't recommend this enough, 1 offer on it. Okay. I can't tell you how many people I've seen that come to us and they have like 5 different offers they're trying to sell all at once. None of them are killing it. We get them down to 1. Sometimes maybe if it makes sense, 2 offers, 99% of the time, 1 offer, and they double, triple, quadruple the revenue. So just do yourself a favor, just have 1 offer on your landing page. It doesn't make sense to have multiple. It makes your audience more confused. You think you're super clear in communicating it. Let me tell you what, Joe Smo here, who's never seen your offer before, have no idea what goes on in your business, I'm not going to get it. Okay. Second way to generate leads, ManyChat CTAs. This is huge. It's been around for the last 2.5 years, and it's awesome because it can actually increase the performance of your videos. 2 ways to go about this: sales or a freebie. Okay. Sales is you do the CTA, and the whole goal is to get them in a sales conversation in your DMs on Instagram. Totally chill. You can do this. Expect a response rate of like 10 to like 20% if you're really cooking. That's just what it is when it comes to sales conversations. And part of it is because a lot of people, even if your CTA is clear that you're kind of doing like a sales conversation, a lot of people will still think that they're getting a freebie here. And at the end of the day, that's just like not the case. Other option, freebie. If you're doing good here, you can get like a 50% opt-in. And what I'm saying is like when you're giving away something, get their email in return. Email and, if you really want, phone number. And don't just do a redirect to the freebie, email it to them. That way they have to put a real email in if they want it. But yeah, if you're doing good, like if you had 100 people comment on a post for that CTA, you'll get 50 emails out of it. And that's really good conversion. But like think about it like this, you can get like upwards of 1,000 and that 50 becomes a 500 at 50% conversion rate off of one reel, right? And let's say you do 2 of those a week, you can grow a list by 4,000 emails a month, 48,000 a year. And a 48,000 email list, that's insane. You're making serious money. You should be making multiple six figures, if not 7 figures, off of an email list of 48,000 emails. And there's a trick to doing this. I call it BTT videos, or B-roll trending sound text on screen. Those are like the ones that work really good when you're giving away a freebie. They just work phenomenally. If you can do a face-to-camera talking video, those are a little bit harder to pull off, but those can actually outperform. And it tends to be one or the other. They either massively outperform the BTT videos, or they massively underperform and you get like 3 comments. But even still, 3 comments, like 3 more emails that you didn't have, right? And if you're an ads person, and you have one of these videos that does like phenomenally, you can just boost it and continue to get that number up. I'm just talking about completely like organic opt-ins here. One word CTA. When you're doing this, make your CTAs one word. I see people who are like, comment green elephants or something, and like, who's going to write 2 words? Like, make it one word, make it easy to spell. If people can't spell it, don't, like, for example, philosophy or psychology or architecture. Don't use those words that are more complex or hard to spell. Use words that a 4th or 5th grader could spell. It's just going to increase your conversion rate and the amount of opt-ins that you get. Fun fact, I think over like the last 40 or 50 years, the person running for US president that spoke at the lowest reading level has won. I think Obama may have been the exception to that, but I think McCain was using some bigger words than he was at the time. But like, clear example, like Kamala versus Trump, Hillary versus Trump, Biden versus Trump. Now, Biden was an interesting one though, because it was during COVID. Anyways, someone fact check me on that, leave it in the comments. But yeah, make sure one word CTA, it just makes your life so much easier. And other little trick here, so like, let's say you're a fitness influencer. You're using this like CTA word pump, right? Because you're talking about, I don't know, like, let's just say you're using like CTA, but the video is about stretching. Like, pump does not make sense to go with stretching. Like, people aren't going to comment that. It'd be like us like talking about sales in a video and being like, comment leads. It doesn't make sense. If we're talking about sales in a video, you want to comment sales. If you're talking about stretching in the video, like, comment stretch. If you're talking about, I don't know, getting a pump on in the gym, then using like the pump, CTA makes a ton of sense, right? Maybe you're selling like super popular like pre-workout pump powder drink and you're DMing them an opt-in for that offer, right? First or last. So basically people read in an F-shaped pattern here. I'll just show you guys. Imagine this is your post up here. This is like your text below on Instagram. People will read the first line, come down, read maybe a little bit of your next paragraph and go straight to the bottom, okay? And if you look here, and they're skimming, okay? And some people might, you might get a couple people that like read more, right? Read all of this, but generally speaking, you get an F-shaped pattern here. And if you have multiple paragraphs, they might read a little bit of another paragraph, right? If they're looking at the post and you're talking about having a free offer in it, they will read the first one. And, and consumers are really intelligent, especially with ManyChat these days, and they'll read the last one because that's usually where the lines are to have a CTA. So you want to put your CTAs like first sentence or last sentence. Anywhere in between is a no-go. It just gets lost. It gets lost in the sea of... Now, it is good to have long descriptions because the algorithm can use that to push your content out. It can help with conversion if you're doing a sales conversion. You'll get some people who read all of it, like the really analytical buyers out there. There's a lot of things that you can really benefit from with long descriptions. So I'm not saying don't do a long description. I'm just saying make sure you put your CTAs first or last. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You can also, if you're really smart, put them on the video. Usually into the video, they can be really good as a title. And some people, and again, watch how they do it because it's all about how you weave it in. You don't want to come across as salesy. You want to come across as providing value. Don't do it with a sales conversation one because I've never seen those perform overly well. They usually work really well with freebies, but sometimes you can like talk or speak it in the video and it can work well in addition to the titles. Number 3, stories. And this comes from Gary Vee, jab, 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 right hook. And stories have been on Instagram for a long time, but how you're actually going to drive sales from that is going to make a huge difference in your business. So the whole idea of value, 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 give your ask. I take that a step further here. I really recommend value, 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 testimonial, right? You want to show someone in your audience, another person that you've worked with that's very similar to you, that has gotten the desired outcome of your prospect, right? And then you do your ask at the end. And the key to making this work is doing it consistently, doing it daily. And 9 times out of 10, I really recommend that you do, again, another one-word CTA on the last slide so they get into the DMs. You can put links on stories and that can work sometimes, but you better have a really good landing page, right? At the end of the day, use your stories daily. Otherwise, you're not going to get good enough at it. You're not going to be comfortable enough at it for it to really start to take effect. And the fact of the matter is with how stories are set up on Instagram, your entire audience isn't going to see them every day. It's going to be different people every single day. So you need to pitch every single day within your stories. Otherwise, you're just missing out on sales in your business. And if you start doing these 3 things, you're just gonna make a ton of money, right? Do them consistently, get good at them, and Instagram will be a powerhouse of sales for you. If you got any value from this video whatsoever, please subscribe to the channel. It makes a huge difference in helping me create more videos just like this and reach other entrepreneurs just like you. Thanks and have a great day.